The Glostavent is a complete anaesthetic system designed for use in areas where there are limited or no compressed medical gases and where electrical supplies are unreliable, intermittent or non-existent. The system consists of four main elements. The first element is a low-resistance vaporizer and breathing system, which allows the system to operate in continuous flow or in draw-over mode. The second is an efficient gas-driven ventilator suitable for adults and pediatric use. The third element is an oxygen concentrator that produces medical oxygen from air from the atmosphere. The fourth element is an uninterruptible power supply and battery backup support system which can provide power to the system if electrical power fails. The Diamedica draw-over vaporizer is a low-resistance vaporizer which will suit draw-over anaesthetics or continuous flow. The vaporizer will hold up to 150 ml of anaesthetic agent, and the level of agent should always be visible in the sight glass. The output is controlled by moving the lever across the front of the vaporizer. It is filled by unscrewing the cap, and there is a funnel supplied to assist filling. This vaporizer is suitable for isoflurane or halothane. Either can be used, but only one at a time. A second vaporizer for sevoflurane is available on request. In draw-over mode, room air is drawn in here, over the vaporizer, through the ventilator and out to the patient. You can add supplementary oxygen to this room air to increase the FiO2. There is an oxygen flush if required, and this bag acts as a reservoir for the excess oxygen put into the system. If more gas is put into the system than the patient's minute volume, this bag will fill, and an increase in pressure will turn the system into continuous flow. There is an overpressure valve here to prevent the system becoming too pressurized at the front end of the system. The normal patient circuit is open circuit, with the gases coming through the self-inflating bag for assisted ventilation, and with a patient non-rebreathing valve at the end of the circuit. This can be connected direct to an ET tube or a patient mask. Waste gases from the expiratory side of the patient valve can be taken through the scavenger in the 30 mm diameter blue tube. The scavenger is located on the back right-hand leg of the machine and operated by a switch on top of it. If our patient is breathing spontaneously, the inspiratory breath is enough to draw through the circuit because it is a low resistance circuit. If we need to assist ventilation, we can do that with the self-inflating bag. Or, if we need to go to ventilation mode, we can set our breaths per minute, our tidal volume, and our patient pressure, and switch on the ventilator. The Glostavent AP ventilator is a gas-driven ventilator suitable for adults and pediatrics and for use in operating theatres or for longer-term ventilation in ICU. On the control panel, there is a tidal volume control which is operated by pulling it out, turning it to the desired volume and pushing it back into lock. It should be used when the ventilator is in the down position. There are instructions on the front of how to use the control properly. There is a breaths per minute control that will provide a rate from 4 to 40 breaths per minute by simply turning it to the desired setting. There is an on-off control with a power on light and a triggered breathing control to assist recovery after surgery. There are alarms for high pressure and a low pressure or disconnect alarm, with a mute for the audible low pressure alarm. Patient pressure in centimetres of water is adjusted by pushing down the button on the top and moving the weights to the desired setting. The setting is viewed through this aperture. When the ventilator is switched on, initially all three lights show, and the low pressure alarm remains on until there is pressure in the circuit. The ventilator is shown in adult mode with a reading on the adult scale for pressure and the adult scale for tidal volume. If we need to change the ventilator to pediatric mode, first switch off the ventilator, then disconnect the weights by undoing the catch. Half the weight will now move to the left-hand side and the scale is viewed through this aperture to whatever setting we need. The bellows is then removed by lifting the arm, pulling out the top and lifting the bellows away. You will note that the pediatric bellows are smaller in diameter. Replace the pediatric bellows and the ventilator is now in pediatric mode using the pink scale on the top and the pink scale on the volume control. If we need to run a standard pediatric circuit Ayres T-piece, first we'll need a higher gas flow, then we simply connect to the common outlet on the ventilator. And as the reservoir bag fills, the circuit becomes continuous flow and we can operate our circuit as normal. In normal operation, the Glostavent oxygen concentrator will provide oxygen up to 8 litres per minute at 95%. It also provides air up to 8 litres per minute. There is a reset button for power surges and there is an hour counter to show hours of use. There is an indicator light that shows the level of oxygen being produced. After a few minutes operation, the light will go out and this indicates that the oxygen concentration has risen above 84%. When the UPS is running in normal mode, it serves two functions. First, it stabilizes the power coming into the Glostavent and will accept voltages from 160 to 300 volts. It deals with any of the high power surges. The second function of it is to provide battery support for the entire system. If the power fails, the battery within the UPS will run the Glostavent for approximately 20 minutes. When the power is restored, the UPS will automatically recharge. First, connect the UPS to the power supply. The unit will automatically go into bypass mode. The battery backup is not available in this mode. To turn the unit to normal line mode, hold down the on button. The display will move from bypass to line. To turn the UPS off after use, hold down the off button and the UPS will move from line to bypass mode. Then, when disconnected from the power supply and after a few moments, the UPS will automatically shut down. If the power is disconnected while the UPS is in line mode, the device will assume there has been a power failure and the battery will be depleted over time. If the electrical power goes off for more than 20 minutes, the battery support does not last long enough. If the small reserve oxygen cylinder is connected, it will provide a further 6 hours for the Glostavent. A regulator and cylinder connection are provided for both ball nose and pin index connection.